Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about multiplying two binomials by FOIL method. So two binomials again means what? It's a polynomial with two terms. That's what we call a binomial. So we have two terms here. So this one is a binomial, this one is a binomial, this one is a binomial, this one also is a binomial. Now, how do we multiply them up? So sometimes we also talk about expanding. So when you hear you want to expand, these expressions, for example, that means you want to multiply them and combine after that. So how do we do that in this case? So we're going to use what we call the FOIL method, right? The FOIL, which is first, F is the first, O is the outer, I is the inner, and then L is the last. So we're going to see how we use them in these two examples here. All right, so let's go at it. So we have 6x plus 7 in parentheses times 3x plus 2. For those who don't remember, if you don't have any sign between the parentheses, that means multiplication. So nobody's going to tell you. It's something that you have to know. All right? So that you multiply. So the first one is going to be to take the f, then it's going to be to take the 6x multiplied by 3x. So that's your first. All right? So that would give us what? So we come here. So 6x times 3x is going to give us what? 18x squared. Because remember, when you multiply the same variables, you added the power. So the powers. So you have power 1 here, power 1 here. So that's why we're getting x squared. So let's go at it. So now the next one is going to be the outer. And the outer is this one here. So that's the outer here. Okay? So that's the outer. So that'll give you what? 6x times 2. So we're using 6x, twice, consecutively. That means we use it the first time with the 3x, and then now we use the same 6x with the 2. Are you guys following now? Okay. So 6x times positive 2, that will give us what? 12x. Okay. And then now let's go with the inner. So now we finished with the 6x. Now we go with the 7. Okay. So the 7 now. The inner 7 is going to go with the 3x. So that's what we call the inner. So I put the I here. Okay. So now 7 times 3x is going to give us what? 21x. Are we good so far? But we're not finished because we have another term here where we can use the 7 with. And that's what we call the last. So 7 goes to the 2 here. So that's the last, the L. So 7 times 2 is 14. So we all know how to do these mental calculations by now, okay? If you don't, call me up, send me a message so we can work it out, all right? So now 18x squared plus 12x plus 21x plus 14. So we combine like terms, okay? Never forget, because anytime you have expressions like that, always look at like terms. That means, do they have the same variables? 12x and 21 are like terms because they have the same variables. So what's going to happen after that? So just bring down the 18x squared plus what is 12 plus 21? That will give us 33x plus 14. So we end up with 3 terms here. Are we done? Yes, because we have no other like terms to bring together. So we finish here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are good. We're learning. We're moving. Okay? So that's for the first question. We go for the second question here right now. So we have 7a plus 8b times 5d minus 8w. So as you guys can see, all the variables are different. The variables associated with, the terms here are all different. You have a here, b here, d here, w there. How do we do with that? But don't be scared. We're good. I got you. So let's go at it. So what's going to happen? We're still following, ladies and gentlemen, the first, the outer, the inner, and the last. At this point, we're taking our time. We're moving slowly but shortly. So let's go at it. So the first is going to be what? So this is the first. Okay, so that will give us what? 7a times 5d. Now 7 times 5 is 35. We all know that. Okay, and then what's going to happen to the a and the d? We multiply a by d. That will give you ad. Okay, that will give you ad. All right, so that gives you AD, and then now that's the first. Now the outer. So the outer is going to give us what? So now we go with the 7a again. So we're using the 7a twice. The same thing that we did in this problem here. So we're going to use the 7a twice. So the first time here, and then the second time. All right? And that is the outer. So 7/8 times negative 8w. A positive times a negative is always a negative. So automatically you have your negative sign here. Okay? And then what's happening? So 7 times 8 is what? 56. All right? Your multiplication tables, ladies and gentlemen. This is mental math here. Okay? You don't need calculator to do these problems. Okay? If you're using too much of calculators, that can get you in some trouble. So be careful, okay? Do it. Just get going with it. And then what's going to happen with the variable? So we have a times w that gives us aw. Okay? Then we keep going. So now after the first, the outer, then the inner, right? So the inner, that'll be 8b times 5d. So that's the inner. So that means you multiply a by 5, which is 40, positive. And then what's the letter here? So that's a b times d is bd. Okay? All right? And then, last but not least, okay? So that's the last one. So again, you take the ab times negative 8w. So that's the last. All right? So for the last, now because we're having space issues, I'm coming on this side over here, the other line. Okay, so 8 times negative 8 would give us what? Negative 64. And then b times w is going to give us bw. All right? Now, the next thing to do always is to find out if you have anything to combine together. Do you have any variables that are alike that you have to combine together? Is there anything that we have to get? So we have a here, but for the mere factor that we have d and w, it changes the whole game. They are not common like terms. So that's the mistake that a lot of people would make, because we see a here, we say, okay, great, let's go and do it. We see b and b here, great, let's go and do it. No, you're not doing anything. All right? So at this point, you are finished, ladies and gentlemen. You are done. This is your final answer. All right? And then you come back, you look at the problem again, check it, make sure that you get it right. If you're home doing homework assignment, do the same thing. If you're on a test, allow yourself 1 minute, at least 30 seconds to 60 seconds, at least to go back to these kinds of problems to see if you have missed any negative sign, any positive sign somewhere, the A, the B, and things like that. That's how we're going to be doing it, okay? All right, guys. Thank you.